Hi guys, my name is Jason and I'm from med school. And before I proceed, please read through this disclaimer first. As in, trading in futures, commodities, and forex markets is one of the riskiest forms of investment available in the financial markets and suitable for sophisticated individuals and institutions. The possibility exists that you could sustain a substantial loss of funds and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. So, pandai-pandai lah guys. That's why jaga your money management. Anyway, for me to proceed, for this video, I would love to share with you my market mapping or my market analysis for all this pairing that I've gotten ready for coming week, which is on the 25th to 29th, that what I'll be doing the coming week. Since now is weekend and usually on the weekend my job is to map the market and see how it moves. So for GU itself, what I noticed is there's a massive rejection happening here on this particular price here, meaning that 405 around 405 137 400, and on the area that I have mapped using my past or the past price, there's a valid 12H, meaning I uses flipping of a structure for me to find an entry. So I did some entries here after it kind of like rejected AD, and I last week itself I took the entry here and did some good profits from it AD. So what is ongoing, or what am I expect to happen upcoming week for the following week? So the first thing that I can see is rejection. That's definitely a very heavy rejection here. Just let me get rid of this. All right, there's a very heavy rejection here, which been rejecting for 1 2 3 4 5 6 times 4 hours. So 6 times 4 hours, that's about a day, almost a day there. 6 times 24 should be about 24 hours. So for 24 hours, the price, or the whole day, it's been massively rejecting this area. Will there be a potential of the price to push back up here again and come back down? Yeah, that is that possibility. If I were to buy this market now, it's more or less like I'll be committing suicide lah. Because what's going on now, there's a pushing phase. See, every time before we enter a market, we got to realize that, is the market under push or is it exhausted? So the whole idea is, what is pushing and what is exhaustion, just to let you guys know. Okay, this is push, this is exhaustion. So what I would like to see is exhaustion in the market. If there's heavy exhaustion, the more exhaustion or the massive rejection, the more probability of the market to reject at the certain area that I'm looking for before I go in as an entry on my smaller time frame. Since I'm on H4, 4H itself, 4-hour time frame, my entry would be a one time frame down, usually on the 1H, for me to find a certain area of interest for me to go into the market with the SL and TP put in. So what's going on here for GU, I would love to wait, because I have marked that there's a resistance here, there's a recent support here, and there's a key support here. Actually the real key is here, but there's a more recent support here. So the resistance, the area of interest that I'm looking for, I would love to see, will the market by Monday opening till Friday, will it start pushing all the way up here? Or will there be having a certain rejection like here form around this area? We will never know. I'm looking for a hint on the market only. So for now, for this pair, I can't do any entry. If I were to buy, it's very risky now, because price have fallen down already, and this push phase, there's another push phase here, which is a much bigger one. It's not done yet. So push could be an exhaustion. So if I would like to sell this exhaustion now, there's no indication of any presence of sellers coming in. The first key sellers is here. That here, yeah, it's actually, you see, when market exhausted or there's a massive rejection, usually it will go down, or a massive like let me get some examples. Like here, we've been rejected, eventually exhaustion, done the massive, there's a massive rejection already, it will eventually goes back up one. So for GU, I'm still waiting to see. It's a sit aside thing for pound dollar, and what I want to have a look is what form next. Is there a rejection going to form here, or will there have a continuation of this pushing phase all the way to the top? Even though it reached the top without any rejection or without any seller presence coming in, I wouldn't take a sell. I wouldn't take a retest. Usually I don't take a retest. I would take a current bear or current seller market, meaning that price might goes up, and start doing a rejection here, start to reject and close as a bear candle, then only I will decide, saying that go to smaller time frame, look for a certain entry point that I want to place my SL and TP. Right, this is for pound dollar. And for the next one that I've analyzed, it's pound yen. Pound yen is having a very interesting by Monday itself, I will actually have a solid entry to go in. It's just that Friday closing, and it closed as a 4-hour rejection bar, meaning that a presence of sellers. This is what I talk about. The difference between pound dollar and pound yen is pound dollar doesn't have the presence of sellers coming in yet, but for pound yen, the presence of sellers have came in on the area of interest that I would love to enter. See, my week flip day entry area. This is my entry area that I have mapped it out on the higher time frame. So for this one, nicely sitting here or nicely rejecting here as a ceiling top, pound yen, this particular price has been rejecting massively over here. So if I want to buy this pair, the price got to break, go far first, then only I will consider buy. As long as the price is still sitting and still rejecting under this whole area, all these areas, okay, this key area, I would consider a sell. So for Monday open, this is a very good area for me to do a sell off on a smaller time frame when the presence of the bear is there already. See, this is a bear bar that I talk about. A push, a exhaustion. It's like, okay, market has pushed. The difference between the pound dollar and this is market push, presence of bear came in. I've been waiting for this since like Friday, the whole day itself. It's been going down since morning. I waited. Okay, I did sold here. I took some profits here already. I got up from the market around here. Then I'm waiting for another round for the push, because price tends to have a pushing phase up here now. So done the pushing phase, what I would love to see is an exhaustion. It's a rejection. So rejection happens already. I can go into a smaller time frame to take an entry, to find an entry, not take an entry immediately, to find an entry that is depending how we want to enter. It could be price action entry on the H1, it could be area entry, breakout, whatever is it, double top, doesn't matter. It's just an entry at the end of the day. Where do I place my SL? Anywhere above here. I don't place my SL here. That price have tested. I would love to place my SL at the price that is the untested ground one. Then where I place my TP, you guys pandai lor. There's like TP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up to you guys. The further the TP goes, the more exposed of the price or the more exposed of the position into the market. That's the only difference. You want to expose so long, up to you. You want to expose less, it's up to you. It's depending on personal preference, right? So this is what I'm going to do on Monday. It's a very good timing for me to enter already. Okay, for EU itself, okay, what happened on market structure is EU have created a trend here. and a retracement into an area. If you guys follow my first few videos, I uses market structure in terms of trending and consolidation breakout for me to gauge where I want my areas of sell or buy is. So for current situation or current scenario that EU gave me was a downtrend was formed, a retracement happened, and this is my area of interest to find a sell. Why? A trend being formed, a downtrend. So it had entered and massive rejection have happened. Bear presence came in and I took an entry. At this, I took an entry and kept it over the weekend and see how it goes. This is my entry. So this entry was done on a smaller time frame. For I remember it should be a breakout entry, but price did try to go back up again and exhausted down again. So let's see how this price move on next week itself. Entry being done already, right? So I say again, downtrend, a trend, nicely done, a retracement. My area of I've been finding a rejection or exhaustion here, and I would love to sell it now. See, there's one here actually. If we were to take it last week, there's one that we can sell it down and make some good pips already. And then this is what I talk about. See, price under pushing phase. We would love to see either a rejection here or a rejection bar here. See, right after it happened, yeah, this one not working very well. It just went up. We wipe out the SL first before the second one came in and yeah, save you. That's why I did mention it's all probability. There's no 100% that every setup gonna work. See, I perhaps SL1R here, donate to the market 1R. Over here, I collected 2 to 3R back to cover back my 1R loss, and I still profit. That's how maths work. That's how money market works. Not all bearish indication works, but of course, bearish indication comes in already. We go into smaller time frame to find those entries. If you can't find it in the smaller time frame, there's no whatever that you guys doing. I have a set of rules when it comes to smaller time frame entry. I don't have. We are not talking about that. So we are talking about market structure and possibility of how market runs to this video only. If you want to know how to enter, just telegram me. I will share with you how to do that, right? So this is what I talk about. Push, bear presence, fail, second bear presence, it works. Then it happens again, another pushing phase. This is not a bear presence, just to let you know. It's just indecisive. This is a bear presence. At least the body is bigger. The difference between these two buckets it's the body is bigger, and there's another difference, there's a lot of rejection weak here. Market try go down, market tried again go down, market tried again go down. So there's a possibility that the buyer has been exhausted and the seller have found a expensive price to sell it down. It's starting already. It's just an indication that hey, it started already. That's all. All right. So if this fail, then I donate 1R to the market. If this work, then I make 1.5, 2R, 3R, depending how far you guys wanted to put it on here. And anyway, I have entered already. So, right. So this is for EU itself. Then for EJ, I also, this is my marking for my entries. I have entries here, already. So my SL actually put up here. Right, EJ and EU similar. It's a breakout as well and retracement, but different structure. EU runs on a trend structure. EJ runs on a consolidation structure breakout. So price been consolidating over here for the past crazy. Yeah, 30. So let's say I put until here, it's about what, 26 days all the way. Still I consider here as consolidation before it broke. Let's say calculate all the way until before it break. Price been sustaining on this area, this price of 830, meaning that 12583 plus for 43 days. I love this type of structuring. As long as the support or the resistance not broken for a very long period of time, the possibility or the probability of what's going to happen next is a massive rejection. But before the massive can happens, it got to retrace first. I only take the retracement, find an indication of market rejection into the areas of interest that I want. Only I sell it down. For this structure, it's a sell structure that I'm looking for. I do not sell when it break, because the possibility of false break does have. Let me share an example for you. Whoever that took the breakout trade here, this is a false break. Whoever that took another breakout trade here, it was a false break again. See, we get wiped out. This is what market maker likes to do. This is what SL Hunt do. SL Hunt is another day story if you guys want to learn. All these are SL Hunt. See, the big boys knows, let me talk a bit about SL Hunt. The big boys knows that there's a lot of orders are being placed here when they break out. People will say, hey, breakout, well, let's buy. All right. They'll go and wipe up all their, before it break out, the SL Hunt will happen here first. All right. The first one would, a lot of people will sell here. Sell. The big boys will push the market up because a lot of SL that we're going to place is around here. Massive SL we're going to place is around here. So they push it up, free slippage, free money for them, and then they will do another round. Okay. The other trader that do breakout trade, which is very famous, a lot of people like rejection, a lot of people like breakout. Okay. For breakout trade, then they say, hey, price breakout already, let's start buying. Then they place their SL where? Here, or put it here, or the SL here. And then big boys push the bloody market down again and wipe out their market and let it officially go down one more round. This is how SL Hunt works. They hunt the SL. It's like sharks going after people, the small fishes. Remember, retail traders like us are small fishes. The one that actually really move markets are big monies. Never our small little money, even though 10,000, 50,000, $100,000 in our account, pull it up into 1 million of them. It's not enough sufficient money to go against them. Their funds are in billions, bros. Right? Those are SL Hunt. That's why I do not like to play. I do not go for breakout, but I only go for breakout, go, retrace, look for a signal, and ta-da! So what happened here is I did the second entry. I have my first entry here when the price rejected. If you were to follow my first video, I did mention that I would love to see, when the price is around here, I would love to see the price to goes back up into this area for me to do a sell. The price rarely goes back up into this area. Did a massive rejection over here. I went into a smaller time frame, I took an entry, and I got up here. Right? Here, guys, if you guys are up for it, there's another structure here. It's actually a retest. So I did took this structure as well, but it's not based on this market structure. It's more based on a rejection point only. Right? I won't be talking about this. I will talk about the consolidation, breakout, come back in here of what I'm going to do next week. So what happened is on Friday itself, I did an entry already because there's a push here, there's a push here, and there's a push here. And I got two areas of interest with a SL point right above my swing. How do I see a swing? It's very simple, just change the line. Can I see a swing? So I place it right there. Right? So okay, so price, try to go up. I have my first entry here, my second entry here. It's actually profiting already, didn't hit my SL. I would love to see how it moved on Monday. So I have placed my SL1, my TP1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everything here already. So depending how I want to exit. The style I exit is once they hit TP1, I'll take half of my profit, BE my position and let it go. For TP2, take half, TP3, take half, and the rest I let it run down. That's how I work my entry format. How you guys want to work on it, it's up to you. No what that, no one man rice can fit everybody appetite one. No right or wrong there. As long as you manage to get some TPs, good. Right, that's for EJ. Why I do that is because rejection is the same thing. There's a lot of rejection here. Why and price have entered my whole area of interest of to look for a sell. This is my whole area. Why I do that is because price is actually have range between this area for the past 40 days. Finally, it broke, then did a retest, and I look for a rejection for me to sell down only. That's the only thing. So let's see how it goes since I have a position on Friday already. And next, for Aussie dollar, yep, stuck within a range, can't do anything. It's still it's considered idling or sit aside, eat popcorn and see what's going on. Because I would love to see, will it have a breakout here or will it have a breakout here? For now, can't really do anything because it just go up and down, up and down. And we can, the only thing that I notice is that's a high, slowly have a smaller lower high and a lower high. That's the only thing. I didn't took this trade is because it's too near already, too near to the upside. There's no indication, even though there's a lot of massive rejection here. I didn't took it is because price did not have a breakout, a proper breakout. So it's more or less like if I were to take here, I'm trading the range. Trading a range is not something that I usually do. So I skip this. If you guys are a range trader, it's a good thing. It's the same idea. Price goes down, price goes up, price goes down, price goes up. Yeah. If you're a range trader, this is a good area or a rejection, massive rejection area, which rejected for whole day on the same area for you to look for a sell on a smaller time frame like 1H, right? Okay, so this is AU. For next week, I'll be sitting aside to see mana dia mau pergi. Right, for AJ, yeah, AJ market structure wise, price have climb. Price came in here and do a retest, do a buy. We came into my buying zone. So this is my buying zone. Just put it nicely here. All right, this is my buying zone again. Sorry, this is a ranging zone. This is a buying zone. So it's very similar to AU. Anyway, AU, AJ correlated, GU, GJ correlated till a certain percentage, EU, EJ correlated till a certain percentage. Just to let you guys know. You want to understand pairing correlation, Google them. There's a lot of percentage chart saying that how much a pair correlate to each other's. That's how money market works. It relate to each other one. Okay, what happened was when the price came in here, I took an entry actually around this area. Yeah, it broke, it came back. I took an entry around here, which is very nice for me to do a buy. See, it's a same idea. Can you see yeah, so put this aside first. A buying presence came in. I died here. It did try to reject once. If you follow my video, I did die here. Okay, it's a very nice rejection. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. I go in here again. Yeah, took back my 1R that I supposed to guided. I guided 1R. I made 2R plus here to cover back my 1R. Okay, why I do that is because it entered my buying zone. Presence of bulls came in, and yep, I went to the smaller time frame. I took an entry and boom, pushing phase came in. This is a push phase. I took out my TP at the push phase, which yummy. Yeah. All right. Then after that, there's another rejection happens here. I did took this entry, but I got out. much earlier lah. Okay, what happened is, can you see this structure? A console break and went up into my console. This is a smaller time frame one, still consider H4 or H, but I would say it's a more towards a H1 structure, still the same H1 structure, less TPs only. So there's a massive rejection. I took here as well, and price came around here. I took about TP2, I ran already. BE, the rest got BE, TP2 got out from the market. Then price went back to a pushing phase again. And currently what's going on is they are fighting until here. I took another entry here for me to sell down because of the massive rejection here. The reason why I do that is price consolidate, broke, came back. Nampak? Ta-da! Alright. This is not valid. Let's delete it up. Alright. Okay, once price came back here, I do a sell. And for now, for next week, I can't do anything much already. This is not a very nice area. Alright, so in order for me to do a sell again, I would love to see the price to push all the way up here and start doing rejection. At least give me some selling presence here. Then only I will do a short-term sell down. If the price starts to come back into this zone, then I would actually buy back up again with this type of structure again. A rejection, a bull presence, a bear presence. See, we can buy and sell because market at the end of the day range more than trend, if you understand what I mean. Let me explain a bit. Can we see a range here? Even though the price break the range over here, it doesn't mean that the price potentially will go all the way down here. It's very unlikely. It's because we gotta always understand there's a bigger time frame that control it as well. So if the price breaks here, doesn't break my invalidation area here, there's always a chance for the price to float back up again. The reason behind it is because what I'm following is a market structure only. Consolidate a bit, or I would say price consolidate a bit, did a breakout, come back retest, goes back up again, come back retest, goes back up again. Is there a chance for it to goes back in here to do a retest here? Of course, on a higher time frame. On a smaller time frame, it will come back here, retest with rejection. So now, that's why we can make both sides one. Alright. Okay, this is AJ. So for following week, what I'm gonna do is I just sit aside and see what's gonna happen. There's not in zone, it's not in anywhere. We're kind of stuck in the middle and still trying to find a direction. Mapping done. Next thing is just wait. Right. For dollar Swiss or Chief itself, okay, it's still sitting aside for me. Because what's going on now is price is consolidating over this area and did a small breakout. Like I mentioned, a breakout for a breakout retrace, it must have a nice leg being formed. If it doesn't have a nice leg being formed, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here. As long as there's not a nice leg. Okay, invalidation here, you break here, or break a bit doesn't count yet. Please don't go and sell it on break a bit. There's always a presence of false break, right? Depending on rejection. Okay, if it comes all the way here and reject, look left, see anything that you can use or any technique that you can find for you to do an entry around here after reject or not. That's the only way, right? So what I want to see on dollar Swiss for this pair is it's not rejected heavily yet. Potentially, I'm just saying potential only. It might just blow all the way back up here again. Might have that chance. The reason behind it is because there's no heavy rejection. Heavy breakout. And if we notice, there is a massive rejection happening now over here. Nampak? Price been rejecting this area, this zone, you know. So what's the next thing might happen? I'm talking about probability here only. There's no 100% gameplay here. That's why SL placement is very important. If I'm wrong, you wipe out my SL. If I'm right, you take out my TP. Always remember that. Make sure that your TP area is bigger than your SL area. That's the whole idea how we can make good money in money market. We got to cover back our losses. That's all. Okay. What I notice here is there's a massive rejection start to happen here. There's a possibility that the price might treat this as a false break area and goes back up here next week. But I still require further monitoring on this thing. And for this pair, I would wait further, see what's going on. Because dollar Swiss, anyway, the movement per day is like super duper limited one. Not a lot of movement. Volatility, volume is not a lot. Just to share with you how to see, it's very simple. I open up my ATR, I put the figure 1, and every time I move the bar, one day move 27 pips, 51 pips, 53 pips, 52 pips, 30 pips. One day, yeah. 45 pips, 61 pips, 39. Just imagine, on average, how much does it move? It doesn't move much when, you know, unless some shit happens. Even though some shit happens, also doesn't move much. 60 plus, 90 plus, that's the best. Okay, 70 plus. Unlike other pairing like GU, per day average, it will move what, 90, 100 easily, sometimes 120 easily, in the range of 100 to 140 a day for GU or GJ, this type of pairing. So anyway, liquidity very thin. Usually I don't really trade this, just part of analysis. Okay, there's a good rejection point here now. So for this rejection point to move further, then I will just wait further what's going to happen. But my bias, current bias based on charting or mapping, it looks towards an upside more. So if you guys want to take a trade on Monday to buy up, yeah, just go down to 1H and see what you can find there. Is there any nice entry point? As long as the SL is below here, good enough already. Right? Okay, that's for dollar Swiss, and next is dollar yen. For dollar yen itself, there's nothing much I can do. Do you see a similarity here than just now and dollar franc? That's what I talk about. See, it's supposed to like massively not reject a breakout, but it didn't. Then that's why it came back here again. For me to sell this pair now based on this breakout, no, I don't consider this as a console breakout retrace. No, I don't consider this, because a breakout must go further. How do I calculate at least this area and this leg? It's similar. The pressure or the amount of pips or the amount of price similar, good enough already. Not saying that, oh, it only break like what, 10% of the whole area. I don't calculate that way. All right. So what I want to do next week is I'll still sit aside, because what's going on now is price is actually ranging. Simple as this. If we look at the bigger picture, can you see the formation now? See, the problem is when we scale in too tight, we only see here. Oh, I can't do anything. You get what I mean? Alright. If we to scale out, can you see now? See, price been consolidating, did a breakout, like I mentioned, this leg and this leg. It's similar movement. Nampak? It's either here or you consider as this. Alright. this leg and this leg similar price movement. So if they have a similar price movement, then only I consider, that's a breakout. Now I'm waiting for a retrace. I didn't took any entry here anyway. I took entry here. So what happened is it came back here, did a massively rejection, sell off. Okay, but there's a small little trap here actually. There's a small little trap here. I got wiped out 1R here. I make back by 1R and got more. So, right. Okay, for next week, still waiting. I'll wait and see what's going on. So can't do much. It's the sit aside thing. If I were to sell now, bit tricky. I would actually love to see the price move further upside more first until this area, and perhaps then I consider looking for some rejection over there and see what's further being formed. That's why we don't get entry every day, but there's 28 pairs. That's sure got one give you something on. If you were to work on a chart mapping this way, right? For Loonie, I took an entry here. It's a very solid entry. The reason why I took an entry here is because false break came back in. Can you see a very nice bull presence with rejection? So I'm still holding my profits here for this thing. And why I hold profit is because, as usual, can you see this? Push phase, still pushing. If I want to sell, there's no indication anywhere I need to sell. There's nothing to, there's no zero seller came in. Zero. There's no bear bar, there's no bear candlestick here. Zero. So it's just still good to hold. Yeah, whoever that buy here, hola. Anyway, in terms of fundamental, why it went back up is because two factors. First factor, Keystone XL Biden kind of like revoke it. That's factor number one. Factor number two, the data for Canada is not so only negative, sided more to a negative thing, not very nice data, weak. So Canada we go. So we got a double combo. Wherever they're holding nicely, holding on to about 100 pips. Okay, so for this pair, still nothing much can be done. Let it form the rejection that it's supposed to form first. Currently, what's going on is still under pushing phase. To buy under pushing phase, if you were guys were to scalp, yeah, 5-10 pips, 5-10 pips, layer, 5-10 pips, go ahead. Push phase are supposed to scalp. Very nice to scalp. The way to hold a swing point, it's not really nice. To intraday also not very interesting, because anytime the bear will just come in and attack anywhere here, could be here, anywhere it will attack one. We will never know the presence of bear when we're going to come in. What we need to do is just use our eye and see. But all we know now is, or all I know now is, it's still under pushing phase flow. As long as the push phase start habis, I can't do anything. See, let's share an example how far a push phase can go. Push. Certain people call it impulse. Market is impulsive, very impulsive. And then they call it if exhaustion, they call it correction. Market is correcting itself. But I usually use push and react. Seller buyer presence, that's the only difference, right? That's for Loonie sit aside, can't do shit now. If we look a bit on the scaling out one, don't scale in so much, price gradually comes down. See, supported here, nicely supported here, boom, go back up. Will the price, say if I were to do a sell, I would actually love to sell around this area, not this type of areas, because price range here already. This is my ranging. If I were to mark my range, price is having a big time range here. So as long as ranging in between this area, I would wait lah. I won't just go into a market babi buta like that. Not worth my money. Yeah, on risk also risk money. Right, let's next go to gold. Gold, nothing much here. All I see it's that's a rejection. Another rejection here, and perhaps another rejection here. So next thing what I want to do is I just practically can see kind of like get stuck in between of, yeah, this is what's going on with gold now. This is the price range that it got stuck in between. If I will pull it nicely here, and this range and this range. See, even though it gets stuck, price did push once, push twice, goes back up higher, exhausted over here. There's a nice massive rejection happens over here, and ta-da, price came back down again and retest this particular, what I call that, some people put a lot of limit orders there, because another way of saying, or another structure that happening here, it's they retest the pin. Okay, pin 1 went back up, pin 2 came down again, retest this pin, created a pin by itself. If I'm not mistaken, if we were to open 8 hour, 6 hours, the 4 hour combo, can't really see. I think it's could be a 6 hours pin. Yeah, see, 6 hours is a pin as well. So, but yeah, you guys can flip it around to see, because combine these two, they will consider a rejection. So price cannot cross here, price comes back in here and immediately bye, comes back here again, bye. Now it came back in here and bye again. So for now, gold, I'm not doing anything yet, can't see really what's going on, kind of stuck in this zone. So what I would love to do is I wouldn't be buying this pair as well, even though what potentially goes back up. If you call this as a breakout, I don't consider this as a breakout low. Like I mentioned, you call this a breakout. It's not a breakout to me, it's a false break. A breakout is supposed to be like bigger ma. Like I say, at least this one breakout and this one same size ma, or similar size. Tada, langsung tada. So it's been rejecting. I don't consider this as a breakout. And I would love to see the market break here, or the market break here. Only I decide what to do. For now, it's stuck in the range. If price stuck in the range, if you guys up for it, price comes back here, sell lah with rejection. Price come back up here. Yeah, just be careful. There's a price tested here. Buy lah. If you up for ranging type of trading, but for me, I hardly trade range. If my hand itchy, maybe I'll consider. Right? For US oil or WTI, so what's going on here is I did an entry over here based on Keystone XL, and Biden revoked their project. Yep, Trump approved it, Biden took it back. Biden decided more to green energy guy, the new president. So I took a shot here. The what call that, entry was valid as well. So lucky me, it went all the way down here. Then, like I mentioned again, this is not a break. This is not a breakout, so I don't consider this as a breakout. What's going on now here is price is ranging in this area. As usual, can't do anything. Whoever that sold here, keep a position, because price sided more towards the downside. As long as the Keystone issue doesn't get solved, I mean, Trudeau is talking about to have a conference call with Biden AD. If they manage to fix the Keystone XL pipeline issue, I'm expecting the price to goes back up. If they don't fix that issue, continuation. So it depending. For now, possibility is two-sided. It's either goes all the way up here or here. Only I decide what to do next. It's kind of stuck in the range as well. Exactly like gold. If you guys up for ranging trade, go ahead. This belongs to a ranging trade now. Okay, for dollar index, my favorite one. If you guys were to trade major pair, is one of the index that you must see no matter what. Because sometimes hiding a lot of clues inside here. Sometimes index will move or create a certain market structure first before the rest of the pairing happens. Sometimes it's the pairing that that pair with dollar one happens first, the structure before the dollar index. So if we were to monitor this pair, this particular index, then we can see perhaps on good times, lady luck is cited to us, the formation happened first here. Then we can decide, hey, the form here already, we can go take all the rest of the major pair. Yeah, because all the dollars are major. Right? You didn't see Kiwi here because I don't really trade Kiwi. I only trade Aussie because the liquidity is too thin. Once hold the position, the whole day also don't have 20 pips on sometimes. So what's the point? And when it comes to this, now we can see there's a massive rejection. Price been going back up here. So I'm expecting buyers, and buyers that the price will goes back up here. Retest again. These are quite interesting zones, I would say. Rejection here. See what's going on here in terms of market structure. It's price created a trend. Price comes back in here, retest. Yeah, the bull here failed horribly. That setup failed. Supposed to have a setup here. The setup failed, went back up, got crashed down again. If not mistaken, this is under Biden inauguration. Yep, 20 January. This is Biden inauguration punya hal. Silaka. Alright, so I did an entry here, got all up 1R bye-bye. Then I waited. Yeah, I didn't enter index. It was some other pair, I believe. Yeah, I got wiped out there. Alright. When it comes back here again, look at it. As long as the price doesn't break my invalidation zone or area, I would still consider buy. Why? I'm still finding a rejection. Where the hell the price want to reject? Try it here, fail. Second try. If this fail, then 2R, bye bye. If this work, then see where the price float back up. So it's a very good time. If you guys see, often bigger rejection start happening already. Can you see a nice little flooring here happens already? So the floor has happened. Nanti you anggap itu headline pula. The floor has happened. Price been sitting here nicely. Bull presence comes in. So I consider this as a rejection area already. So once it rejected already, I would love to see the price retrace back in here again for me to do a buy. So can see very well that quite on term of buyer's direction, dollar tends to have potential to be strengthened by the following week until this area being broken and closed below. Then I'm wrong. Alright, that's the wrap up for all this pairing. I hope that it somehow useful for you guys, because this is what I've been using to cari makan all this while. It works long run, and always bear in mind SL, TP, very important. Always have SL on your position. And guess what? Even though we work this way, the accuracy is higher than, quite high, I would say, quite high accuracy, but we still can die on. So don't stick with all the money that you have on one position or one setup. Multiple setup comes in, add in plus minus there, make money. For example, if you got $1,000 that you're willing to risk into the money market, at least stick 50 or $25 per stakes. If you lose $25. If you win on this, you make the structure, the setup works, you make 40, 50, 60, 100, depending. So as long as we work on this money management with such market structure, it won't go wrong anywhere, I would say. So the only time that it will go wrong is emotional comes in and start making a cycle. That's where we went gila, went crazy, money management out, revenge trade. For example, how revenge trade will happen is, nah babe, I'm correct one ma. Okay, I'm right one. Why you wipe out my SL? Okay, I go and chase the market again. I'm right, but I never wait for rejection. If come here already, I was buying, I was looking for some buy, then it go all the way down here and I died it by, let's say, my SL put right here, for example, and I'll put here lah, it's more obvious. Okay, oh, SL lady, nah babe, yeah, I didn't wait for rejection. I enter one more round with a tighter SL, die another round, tighter SL, die another round. Why not we wait for this? One time died, just wait already. Because what happened is always understand pushing phase. All these are pushing phase. Always recognize market is under pushing phase or not. If it's under pushing phase, don't counter it. No, not yet time to counter. If you were to scalp, follow them. If you want to going for a counter position one, counter the currently what's going on one, bro, ladies and gentlemen, brother and sister, this one very important. No, if the market is currently under control by bear, you go buy, chances are sayonara one, it's very easy to see one. Push phase, push phase, push phase. It's like pushing, open bigger for you guys to see. Pushing. You call this what call that? Bull came in. Yeah, bull trap got lah. Push. Uncertainty. Push. Bear presence. Went back up. Bull presence. Went back up again. Came back down again. Fail horribly. That's the okay. Fail. Continue. Push. Bull presence came in again. There's a bull presence here, but not good enough. Depending on areas, we want areas, right? So if we want, it's best if we wait for massive rejection. If we wait for one, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If we want to wait for one, wait for this type of big one. Sekali dia harum, massive price goes in on. Those are considered good pushing reverse bar. If not, if it's the small one, we gotta wait for many bar to happen. Only we can see that, hey, it's about time already for the market to reverse to the upside or reverse to the downside. Because this technique, when it comes to market structure, what I'm going for, it's countering the currently what's going on. So to counter, we gotta wait longer time and look for more rejection. Right? Thank you very much for listening to me. I hope that you guys can follow this, and partly analysis, partly lesson here some more for you guys. If you like what I've been talking about, subscribe to me. There will be more analysis like this. If you want to ask more questions about this, join our Telegram. And thank you very much, and I'll see you again.